Welcome back to Daytime here on Rogers TV. Well, it doesn't get any better than when you go from vintage jewelry to dessert in the kitchen. I mean, really, it's the perfect show today. And you can find the perfect desserts, of course, at Restaurant 18. And we're joined by the pastry chef, Leah Turcotte, as well as you all recognize, Caroline Gosselin. It's nice to see you again. Nice to see you again. Well, congratulations on the new menu.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You, why don't you give us some of the highlights of it and what your inspiration was for creating the autumn dessert menu?
Well, I think just the time of year in the summer, of course, was different fruits and products, but this time we have some wonderful apple desserts, and I'm also doing something with quince and pumpkins. So
what are quince?
Quince is from the rose family. It's sort of in the pear and apple, sort of in between.
Okay.
And not a lot of people are familiar with it, but it's a very nice fruit. And if you poach it, don't eat it raw. Some people have had quince jelly with like a cheese plate, which is really nice too. So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's get started on the recipe here so that we don't run out of time. Why don't you walk us through?
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is just plate it the way we have it at the restaurant now, the way we're serving it, and it's little tastes of different types of apple dessert.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And which one in particular are you doing for us? That's on
So that's the apples.
Okay.
Selection.
Crab apple jelly, spiced fritter, cream cider cloud, pecan crumble, salted caramel, and green apple.
Yes.
Sounds good
all
to
on
me.
one plate.
Yes. Exactly. So you're getting a little taste of all the different types of apples.
Nice.
And we have some like little crab apples here. Those are the 3 apples that I'm using, a Macintosh and a green apple.
Nice.
So I'll just start putting it all together.
What did you put there on the bottom?
This is just a little apple kind of reduction, like cider reduction. Just gives it a little look, alignment kind of.
Very
this
nice.
is a caramel. And what I'm going to do is just cut up some fresh green apple, because everybody loves caramel apple, right?
Oh, yes.
My favorite.
Yeah. Caramel anything, really.
Yeah.
Great time of year to use apples, too, in your desserts
Yeah,
as well. So I would imagine you're sourcing locally quite a bit whenever you can.
Yeah, the crab apples and the Macintosh are from the Bywood Market, which is right next to the restaurant, so we can walk through there and pick up everything we need. So I just stick them in here and put a little bit of sea salt on top of your caramel.
Really?
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I just want to ask you, Carolyn, when you look at your staff and you ask them, to change up the menu, do you work together with them, or do you leave them alone and let them do their own creative thinking in the kitchen?
Well, obviously it depends on who you have in the kitchen. But no, with Leah, definitely. We give her free hands to go and make her creative menu, and then we do a tasting just with the owners and with Leah. And we decide whether or not this actually fits in our restaurant and that it fits with our public. And so it's a bit of a process, but usually, I mean, the last menus that she's put together, we've just loved them. And she's really creative. She's got some different flavoring coming in there using really interesting ingredients, which I really like, because we can always have apple pie, but if it's done a different way, then it's really fun.
And it must be a perfect marriage with Chef Matt Carmichael's inspiration as well, because his main dishes are so wonderful.
And it follows right through on the dessert. She always has a little bit of an Asian touch to some of her desserts as well, just as Matt has on his menu. So.
Well, and it's fun for you too, I think, because being a sommelier, you get to match everything. So they create something, and then you get to say to yourself, okay, what's the perfect wine for this? Absolutely. It's funny, we're talking dessert, but you're going to match a wine. Is wine desserts becoming more and more popular?
Yes, I think it is more and more popular, because I think the ice wine is becoming more and more popular, and it is also, we're producing such fantastic award-winning ice wines in Ontario. So we are promoting them at the restaurant, and I think people are just generally loving them. So
excellent.
That's really fun.
So what have you selected for us today?
I've got a Chateau de Charme. It's a Vidal ice wine from 2006. I don't know if you know a little bit about ice wine or when they harvest them, but after the regular harvest of the grapes, they go and they harvest. They have to wait till it gets to about 8 degrees, minus 8 degrees. It has to be 8 degrees or lower for them to pick. So they can't pick them before, because the grapes have to be actually frozen. So when they go to the press, they're actually frozen, and they're actually crystallized. The sugar's crystallized, and it's got a lot of sugar, and they're full of fruit flavor. So that's how that happens.
Sounds nice.
And
well, let's have an update, Leah. On what,
Look at this.
I know.
Finished.
Amazing.
Wow.
All done. So, okay, well, this is the crab apple jelly, which is those little apples over there, and also those you don't want to eat raw. And they just make a really nice jelly that's very sweet. And I put it on a cookie, a little thyme, just for the flavor. This is our fritter. and that's with the green apple.
Okay.
And this is a cider foam, and we use...
Is this our cloud?
Yes, this is our cloud, and we use just like the whipped cream canister. And
Right.
you can put a little egg. It's kind of like a mousse, but you can, using that, it helps it, kind of gives it volume, and it's nice. And it's with a reduced cider, so that's the apple in that one. And this is a crumble with Macintosh apples, which I love for...
It's very sweet to see how excited you are about your
It's true. You have a lot of enthusiasm,
Do
which
you feel
is
that,
great.
Leah, when
Yeah.
you're creating something? Do you get as excited to create it as we do when we eat it?
Yeah, totally. And I think that's why it's important to be in a place where the menu changes, because the seasons inspire you, like
For
the
sure.
colors, you know, the food, and then it keeps your food inspiring too. So.
Agreed, 100%. So why have you chosen this wine? What's in the flavor of this wine that matches well with this dessert?
Well, a lot of times, usually when we pair wine and food, we either look at flavors in the wine and the food that are similar, or we look at them that sort of opposites attract.
Okay.
And this one are very similar. You're going to notice that there's a lot of apple flavoring in it as well, a little bit of apricot. It's very full fruit, and it's not over the top sweetness, so it's going to balance nicely with hers. Because I know Leah doesn't do, really sweet desserts. Her desserts it's just enough, and it's so that the flavors come through. It's not sort of sugar laden.
Right.
And that's similar in this wine. They're both very delicate, and that's sort of why I chose this.
Carolyn, people must be getting their bookings in now for the holiday season.
They
right?
are.
What should they do? Contact you, website?
Yep, that's the way to go. You can just call in if you want to, come and do your Christmas parties with us, or wine tastings, or bring your staff in and do something fun for them this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
idea.
always something going on at Restaurant 18. Well, Leah, it was a pleasure meeting
Thank
you.
you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much for
coming.
being here. Always a pleasure to see you as well.
Thank you.
Restaurant 18, you can check out their website, www.restaurant18.com. We're going to head back down and see what Jamie's doing at Heavens to Betsy. Jamie?